International Trade Focus is brought to you by Ghana Free Zones Authority and supported by GOIL and Agricultural Development Bank.
Now, if the COVID-19 pandemic has taught us anything as a nation, is the fact that we need to move away from the overdependence on imports and move towards a state of self-reliance. Today's edition of International Trade Focus will be coming to you from Akrofarms in the Eastern region. Now, Akrofarms is the biggest integrated and automated poultry facility, not only in Ghana, but in West Africa. We want to find out the role that Akrofarms is playing in the import substitution drive. International Trade Focus is brought to you by Ghana Free Zones Authority. They say sharing good fortunes, GOIL, good energy, ADB, truly, Agric, and more. International Trade Focus is also supported by Pediasi Valley Resort. My name is Anna Spio. Stick and stay. On our Indepth segment today, we spoke with the CEO of Akrofarms, Salome Jenfi. She told us about Akrofarms' contribution to the import substitution drive and the contribution to the community within which they are operating. Our Indepth segment comes up next. You're watching International Trade Focus, and this is our in-depth segment coming to you from Akrofarms in the Eastern region. Salome Jenfi is the CEO of Akrofarms and our guest for today. We come to take a look at Akrofarms and the role it's playing in import substitution, their challenges and many more. Stay tuned. Salome, thank you very much for taking time off your busy schedule to talk to us.
You're welcome.
Your farms, Akrofarms, claims to be the biggest integrated and automated poultry facility, not only in Ghana, but in West Africa. Tell us, how did it all start?
Well, everything starts obviously with a dream and a vision. But I think for us, the most important thing is how can we be instrumental in our country? How can we support our environment? And how can we be a contributing factor to developing our dear nation? So that's how it started. And as a business person, you always look into what are the areas that are interesting for us to venture into, and poultry happened to be one of the key areas that we started looking at.
Tell us, how did you source funding for this project?
Okay, well, before I talk about funding, I think it's also interesting. In the beginning, you said we claim to be, yes. It's not only a claim, it is true. And once you come here, you can also see what our facility is about, the kind of equipment that we have. And we actually are the only, at this point, and the biggest automated and integrated poultry facility. And the reason we say that is because our processes, right from the feeding of the birds, to the water system, to manure removal, to everything that we are doing, ventilation, regulating the temperature, everything is automated. And that's how it is automated. The process is completely automated. We also look at the fact that we want to marry healthy methods of rearing poultry together with technology, and how can we together create a system that works and gives us the limited risk or human contact with the birds as much as possible, so you can increase your biosecurity, as well as making sure that you produce a healthy product for your clients at the end of it.
Right. That's great. So funding, how did you source funding for this huge project?
Well, we've been working with a couple of banks, to be honest with you, and I think the process is laid out already. If anybody is interested in sourcing funding, you first need to create your business plan. They want to know what is the return on investment. They want to know, do you have enough cash flow to be able to repay the loan back? So there are a couple of banks we are currently working with that have been very supportive so far. It's not only about giving the money, but also helping us with systems and supporting the whole chain in that effect. So I must say we are grateful to have this opportunity, and I'm sure anybody watching us or anyone who wants to venture into this, they can also look into the possibilities out there to engage certain banks to be able to have the support that they require.
Okay, so talking about venturing into poultry farming, would you say it's a lucrative business? Is it a business worth venturing into?
It is a lucrative business, but there are also it comes with its own challenges, right? And one of the key things, one of the key challenges that every poultry business have is the feed component, okay? If you are able to have a stable feed cost, then it's going to impact definitely on your gross margins and then your net profit. So feed is very important. And if you don't put a structured system in place, you also find out that, because in Ghana, for instance, the informal sector is where you buy maize, right? Maize is one of the biggest components of the feed that we produce. And if today the market, the prices are varying so much, it can definitely impact on you. And you're not only using feed, you're also using soya bean, and there are other components that come together to make your feed. So I think one of the biggest challenges is feed. I'm talking for the industry right now, if we are able to control the cost of feed, then definitely your margin percentages are going to be increased. And another challenge that poultry farmers face is also biosecurity. What systems are you putting in place to make sure that there is a less human contact with the birds? What system are you putting in place to ensure that your birds get the right vaccination at the right time? They have a schedule. We have a schedule for the birds at every stage with what they require. So are you following that schedule? Are you making sure that you provide your birds with the ultimate care that they need? Because if there is a disease outbreak, you can lose all the birds. You see, so it's very crucial that the biosecurity systems in place is very solid, and then the feed that you also give to your birds is crucial. So I'll say these two things are challenges. At the same time, they're also opportunities. If you do it right, you're going to get the results also right. So that's how it goes.
In the meantime, how do you source feeding for the birds? Do you buy them on the market? Are you working with some farmers, outgrowers, who supply with their feed?
Yeah. One of the key things that is very relevant to Akrofarms, is dear to our heart, is ensuring that we have an empowered community. So we work with an outgrower scheme, and that means we have a group of farmers that are actually growing maize for us. We also have a farm that we are developing to grow our own maize, but currently we are working with about 4,300 maize farmers around the country that are giving us maize on a daily basis. So this is how we work together with different people within the community to make sure that we have an empowered people to work around it.
So talking about empowering the community, how many hands do you need on the farm, and what percentage are employed from the region?
Okay, so percentage from the region is the difficult one, but I can tell you that currently, directly and indirectly, we've been able to create 459 jobs on the farm right now. What we are currently working on, we are working on our expansion plans, and our expansion plans that goes into establishing a broiler farm and a processing unit, okay? The broiler farm in itself is going to be at a separate location within the same region. And our goal with that is to be able to grow broilers within a specific healthy environment, and then process the chicken to have that sold to the hospitality industry, the supermarkets, and everybody in Ghana that would need to buy chicken, so that we can reduce the importation of chicken within the country. And once we do that, if we combine all our expansion products, which is the broiler farm plus the breeder farm, then by 2020, we are looking at directly and indirectly creating jobs of about 50,000.
In the meantime, you're only producing eggs.
At this point, it's only eggs. However, we are working towards our broiler farm and processing unit plans.
You're still watching International Trade Focus, and this is our in-depth segment. The conversation continues with Salome after this break.
Your business concepts and investment must be harnessed through a hassle-free and highly thoughtful process to make them globally competitive. That is precisely the mission of the Ghana Free Zones Authority. Ghana Free Zones Authority packages Ghana's enabling business and investment environment with endless benefits. total exemption from major taxes and levies for first 10 years. Talk to us now about our business oasis created all over the country, acres of industrial enclaves for all sectors. Our beneficiaries are in vibrant business, exporting finished and processed factory inputs all over the world. And what do our clients call us?
Partner.
Ghana Free Zones Authority, sharing good fortunes.
Here's innovation from Goyle that takes you further. New Gold Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes have been expertly crafted with the latest in liquid engineering technology, highly advanced for modern engines, prolongs oil change intervals, save you fuel, clean, protect and enhance engine performance. The way engines work has become complex, and Goyle has innovated to stay ahead with expertly crafted lubricants that work excellently with all petrol and diesel engines of today. New Goyle Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes. Innovation that takes you further. Goyle. Good energy.
You're watching International Trade because this is our in-depth segment. Salome Jemfi is the CEO of Akrofarms. We're taking a look at Akrofarms and the role that they are playing in the import substitution drive. The conversation continues. I'm sure you have the capacity of the broiler farm and the processing plant in mind. Do you think once it's been established, once operation commences with that, you'll be able to meet the local demand and possibly export?
We will to a certain extent. I wouldn't say that we can meet the whole demand in Ghana. There are other poultry farmers as well. But for us, at least it's clear to us that once our poultry broiler farm is established, we are able to raise on average on a year basis 1.5 million birds by our own farm. And our processing unit is able to process 16,000 birds per day, giving us 640,000 birds in a month. On a year basis, we are talking about 7.6 million birds. So this gives us a lot of assurance that we can definitely, on a longer run, contribute to reducing the importation of poultry products from abroad. And definitely we can export. We will definitely export because our goal is to grow and expand in other regions as well. So this is definitely one of the key things that we are working towards. And when it comes to the eggs, our current capacity, we have 2,400 crates of eggs per day. And once we finish the project on our layer farm, we'll be having 7 houses. That would give us about 5.5 million eggs on a year basis.
Taking a look at what you have presently, what supports you, or first of all, what support has government and the relevant stakeholders given to you, and in the future, what more would you need from them?
I think we are privileged to have the president visit our farm a couple of weeks ago. When they came, they saw everything that we've done so far. Together with the Minister of Trade, they have actually promised us to have a tax holiday on the equipment that will bring to this country to be able to facilitate the process of growing local demand, but also supporting the reduction of importation of poultry products. So I would say the support is there. We have our bankers as well, and the Ministry of Agric is also there to offer us the support that we need. So I would say the support has been enormous, and we really appreciate the chain of support that has come to us. So we are grateful for that.
In Ghana, usually we look at agriculture as something for those who are old or those who don't have that much educational background. So taking a look at your journey, what inspired you to venture into poultry farming? And do you think that indeed it is for those who are not really educated or literate? Or you think that is just a myth?
I really don't know how this kind of stereotypes are being created in our environment. But I can definitely say there is a shift in mentality. People are understanding that every work that you do, it doesn't matter the sector, you do it well to your best ability, and you do it well to the international standards that it has to be. So, well, I can just encourage everybody out there that if you have a passion for something, or if you have a dream for something, just go for it. Irrespective of what industry, you just have to do the best that you can to make it work for you. Yeah, and make it work. Just make it look good. Just make it look good and make it work for you. So we shouldn't be putting people in boxes, and we shouldn't be putting certain jobs in boxes. It doesn't help in the long run. We just have to be open-minded and be realistic with what is on grounds, I would say.
Akrofarms, where do you see yourself, say, in the next 5 years?
In the next 5 years, we would have then finished all our 7-layer houses. We'll be providing on a yearly basis more than 5 million crates of eggs. Our breeder farm would be ready. We'll be generating our own day-old chicks, hatching our eggs, and also selling out to people. By then, our processing unit is working. We want to supply those big companies and also the cold stores. We want to provide them with chicken. We want to be known everywhere in this world. We want to be the place to come to if you want to see how healthy practices and technology works together for poultry farming. We want to be the thought leader in this space. And the sky is just the limit. We want to just go as far as we can.
Do you have expansion in your plans? Say expanding to, say, Nigeria or other parts of the continent?
Definitely. In the next 5 years, Akrofarms will be all over Africa.
Now, unfortunately, we can't have any discussion without talking about the COVID-19 pandemic.
Yes.
So how has that affected business?
COVID-19 definitely affected every business in a negative way. But I think there are other positive things we could take, cues that we can take from this. And this is regarding how you make your processes integrated with the digital world, okay? At least if we haven't learned anything, we've learned that we should keep our processes and everything online, and that is going to help facilitate and speed up decision making and everything. Apart from that, I think, well, if people are afraid to go and buy food or afraid to go and do something, it definitely have a hit on our business. But luckily, we are rising and we are definitely recovering. So that's the good thing.
Salome, we are done, but finally, what do you have to say? What are your final words?
My final words is, well, we at Akrofarms, we are very excited about what we are doing, very passionate about it. And we invite everybody to, look online, visit our website, to share our story, our passion, and our vision with us. And you can always ask whatever you want to ask with us. And we also want to encourage people out there to just go for their dreams. And not be putting things in boxes. They should just be open-minded and do what they have to do. Right.
Salome, thank you very much. And I must say what you're doing here is admirable. Together, let's continue to push forward and reduce Ghana's overdependence on foreign products. Thank you very much, Salome.
Thank you for your time as well. Thank you.
So Salome Jenfi is the CEO of Akrofarms, and she was our guest on our Indepth segment today. We'll be right back.